Welcome to Spiritual Ambition, where we tune in to awaken our divine nature and explore the provocative inner force compelling us toward our fullest potential. If you've achieved external success but feel a deeper calling, if you're tired of dimming your light to fit in, and you know there's a more powerful way to live and lead and love, you're in the right place. Host Donna Bond is a best-selling author, modern-day high priestess, and catalyst for personal transformation. Together, we're birthing a new paradigm of loving leadership, integrating our humanity with divine wisdom as our individual awakening serves collective evolution. Here's your host of Spiritual Ambition, Donna Bond.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome back. Welcome here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for creating this time and this space to just slow down a click, to come into your center, to be here, opening your mind and your heart. This is Spiritual Ambition. Today, we are on episode number 16, which is kind of crazy and exciting. We have a very special guest today, Teresa Warnstaff, who's an intuitive channel, a transformational guide, and a former corporate leader who has created an incredible movement called the Global Evolutionary Summit, which is designed for those who are ready to step into their higher potential and contribute to humanity's collective evolution. It's going to be coming up in a few weeks. Teresa's going to be here with us, sharing live and in person about her journey and inspiring you to bring your unique contribution, your puzzle piece into the mix, uplifting your frequency and doing your own healing work so that your contribution to the whole is one of upliftment, one of joy, one of grace, one of peace, one of neutrality. Welcome in, everyone. Hello. Everybody in the chat. Christine, welcome. Kim, thank you for being here. It's lovely to see everyone. We're going to begin, as we always do, calling in the angels, calling in the light. So wherever you are, unless you're operating heavy machinery or driving a car, go ahead and close your eyes for just a moment and just place your attention on your heart space and just take a nice, deep, cleansing breath. And as you exhale, just letting go of anything that no longer serves you, letting go of anything you no longer need, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. And in this moment, knowing that you're here in this now moment and that you matter. Your heart matters, your thoughts matter, your expression matters. Infinite universe, we call ourselves forward into your loving. We ask to be cleared, filled, surrounded, and protected with the clear white light of living love. We ask that any karma, negativity, or imbalance be lifted and transmuted at this time. We ask that any karma, negativity, imbalance, there's like a groove stuck in the record. Just taking that moment of silence, letting anything that is in our field that no longer serves us be transmuted and replaced with loving, with peace, with upliftment, with creativity and curiosity, with aliveness and love. We acknowledge and we welcome only those divine beings of light who love each one of us unconditionally, who work for the divine plan and who work for the light. We welcome only you into our sacred space here today. We ask for your support and assistance in bringing forward healing, revelation, and wisdom of the heart that will resonate most profoundly with each individual here for their highest good and the highest good of all concerned. We are grateful and we say thank you. Feels good to just slow down. Welcome back. I'm so glad to have you here. Prudence, welcome. Hello, KB. Thank you for being here again. Catherine, welcome in, everyone. We're going to take a moment and send that blessing of love and light to anyone around the world who needs a little upliftment in this moment. Anyone who could use your prayers and your goodness, your good thoughts, wishing them wellness, balance, health, and upliftment. If there's anyone that you would like to drop their name in the chat, that we include them in our sacred circle of light, then please go ahead and feel free to do that. We're going to send the light to Betty and Bob today. We're going to send the light to Celia and Don and David. We're going to send the light to Frank and Joe and Kelly. Jennifer McCormick, hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. If there's somebody special that you know needs our prayers, you can visit Spiritual Ambition, sacredlight.com, and you can submit their name into our sacred circle. We are going to also send intentional light to anyone who might be in a war zone, anyone who might be experiencing fear, contraction, sending them a blessing of neutrality so that they can remember their truth and align with that higher wisdom and that inner knowing. Mike, we send the light to you. Sharon, we send the light to you. Eliana, Fran, all right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. We are going to invite Teresa to come and share some time with us. I'm going to read her official bio. You know, when I met Teresa, it was that instant recognition where you meet the person and you're like, I know you, I love you. And our mission is so aligned. And so I'm going to share her bio with you. Teresa Warnstaff is an intuitive channel, a transformational guide, and a former corporate leader like me, whose mission is to normalize spirituality and support conscious evolution. Normalize spirituality. Whew, what a breath of fresh air. Don't we love that? I sent a note once to Gaia TV and asked them to stop sensationalizing things, because I think spiritual concepts are so important. And if we can deliver them with an element of groundedness and professionalism, then they're being received by a greater audience, especially an audience that is awakening right now to their higher knowing and their higher wisdom. And the information, similar to the information that Teresa is going to be sharing through her Global Evolutionary Summit, is so important that we are getting that into the hearts and minds of as many people as we possibly can. So normalizing spirituality so that we can support this conscious evolution is pretty exciting stuff. And I am behind Teresa 100%. So she is known for her grounded presence and her soul level wisdom. Teresa brings decades of intuitive mastery with 30 plus years of business and leadership. Her talks empower audiences to align with their purpose, to access their inner knowing, and to live from a place of clarity, sovereignty, and authentic power. Whether she's leading workshops, sharing the stage at global summits, or channeling live messages from guides, I know you all love that, and the universe, Teresa invites her audiences into deeper levels of self-awareness and inspired action. That's what gets it done, inspired action. Teresa has just published her brand new book, which is called A Manual for Humanity, offering a roadmap for spiritual growth and personal transformation. Teresa's presence is both expansive and practical, and she leaves audiences with tools to integrate their spiritual gifts, shift their limiting beliefs, and live extraordinary, purpose-filled lives. So without further ado, we are welcoming to the stage Teresa Warnstaff. Come on in. Hello.
Hello. Donna, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, it's so lovely to have you with us, Teresa. I just feel so blessed that our paths crossed. And they crossed and we kind of like got off track because I missed the first meeting that we had together. And the universe looped us back around and said, no, you two women need to come together for bigger reasons and bigger purposes. So I'm just really grateful to know you.
Mm-hmm.
So like me, you spent a long time in corporate land and then made the transition into the spiritual arts. And now you're leading this Global Evolutionary Summit. You've just published your new book. A lot of things have happened to get you from point A to where you are today. Give us the highlights. Give us the story of the high points of your path that really serves as inspiration for so many of us.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. It's such an honor, first of all, to be here with you. Thank you very much. And like I think many of us, I was born with all of my spiritual abilities turned on, wide open. And because when I was born, it wasn't normalized. It wasn't accepted. It wasn't allowed. I systematically began to shut them down, to quiet them, and really only harness what I consider the expansion of our physical abilities, see, hear, feel, taste, empathy. All of our intuitive abilities are extensions of our physical senses. And so I began to systematically quiet them so that I could fit in. Nobody wanted to hear about how I remembered lying in my crib at 18 months and played with all of the beings that would come visit me. Nobody wanted to hear that. Nobody wanted to hear how I could see a lie as it left the lips of the person who was speaking at 7 years old. No one wanted to hear that as I watched my parents make decisions that influenced the well-being of our entire family, I could see the dissonance and the fractured energetic ambiance that accompanied those decisions at 12 years old. Our voice is so diminished. And I also know that those formative experiences were perfect. They were exactly what I needed to immerse myself in what I call living by default, right? To adhering to all of the societal norms. And that's how I ended up in corporate. I watched my dad, a highly successful entrepreneur who built global businesses and influenced how countries unfolded tools and aspects for their citizens' well-being. I watched this dynamic, gregarious, charismatic man grow and evolve himself. And I thought, that's what I want. I want to be part of something bigger. I want to be part of something that has influence in a positive, generative way for other people. Because if we're not serving others, if we're not keeping in mind that everything we do has a ripple effect into the universe, this is unitive consciousness, right? We're all one. Then is it worth doing, right? So I have took the first steps, got jobs, rose the ladder, had phenomenal teams that I was able to uplift. And yet, and I know I'm going to say this and everybody's going to go, yeah, that. I recognize that. There was something in me that was like, this isn't enough. This isn't it. I got goosebumps. And so I would episodically drop into spiritual communities or take classes or see psychics or see intuitive or see healers. I was constantly searching outside of myself for information that would feed myself. And I know all of your people, everyone who's listening, whether it's now or in the future, you know that's not how to fill the well. That's not how to manifest your purpose and destiny. It's by going within. And so when I finally, for the last time, and I know this sounds so recent, but for the last time left corporate America in 2020, it was time for me to fully step into my spiritual abilities. And I don't call them gifts because they're not. Every one of us has them. They're abilities. They're not gifts. Step into my abilities and recognize that unless I could fill myself with the mission of being in service, of bringing wisdom and sharing what I've learned, unless I could do that, I wasn't living fully self-expressed. So it's been this one step at a time journey, right? I'll take this step and then I'll take that step. And it's been miraculous and it's been hard and it's been what I called joytitude filled. And joytitude is joyful and gratitude all wrapped up in this divine bundle that infuses every cell of your body. It has been incredible and it continues to unfold. It continues to provide amazing I'm listening to my guides. That's why I keep looking up amazing opportunities to step in directions that I would never have considered if I had to design my life. I wouldn't have considered them. I wouldn't have considered the Global Evolutionary Summit. I thought summits were dumb.
What is the summit? Right? You and I, we know this word because, we're trying to make our way in the marketing world. What is a summit, Teresa? Please tell us.
Yeah. So for me, the meaning of, and I'm super literal. I have this whole love of words thing, right? So to me, a summit is a collective bubble of wisdom and information that is delivered over the course of a few hours or a few days or a few weeks. But the traditional harnessing of summit is as kind of clickbait, right? As a opportunity for somebody to get a taste, just a taste of somebody, but not really bring it within and test it and say, is this for me? Which part is for me? So summits are very specific containers that have a sunset, a sunrise, and a sunset. Does that align with your?
Yeah. Well, it's also, I was thinking about this today as I was having lunch, and, the literal sense in my mind of a summit is a resting point after you've climbed a mountain, right? It's a vista, and it's a place for recuperation and rejuvenation and revitalization. And I definitely want to parallel what you're doing to all of those opportunities, because this is definitely an environment that you're creating. And we'll talk about this, but you were very specific about the types of experiences that you wanted your facilitators and practitioners to be able to deliver, that we weren't going to just be a bunch of talking heads, that we were going to give somebody the opportunity to have their own inner shift, their own inner awareness. So I just started thinking about, the actual word of a summit and like, what is that? And then I thought, well, this kind of lines up with that. It totally works.
Yeah, it does.
So tell us the story of how you came to have this idea to launch this summit.
I would love to, because it is quite a journey. And I want to say hi to everybody who's putting messages up. Mwah, we love you.
We love you. Welcome. Thank you for being here, everyone. Kim and Christine, Tanya, Jennifer Rose, welcome. Jennifer Rose also has a show on this network. Sharon, welcome in. All right, Teresa, tell us how it happened.
So I have made an agreement with my guides and with the universe that I will listen to their suggestions and take action accordingly. And so in November, not even a year ago, okay, not even a year ago. So November of last year, my guides came in. I was traveling to Chicago at the time and said, we would like you to do a summit. And I said, oh, hell no. No, I'm not doing them. I think they're dumb. I've attended so many summits, paid the price, downloaded the information, and then never looked at it. And rarely did the summit give me an experience that I could internalize and determine which part was for me. So I said no. And they were persistent. They would not stop. They're like, no, we want you to do a summit. So finally, early December, I sat down and I was back in Seattle, and I sat down with my guides and I said, okay, so if I do a summit, here's what I envision. Because it aligns specifically with one of my visions, and that is to share as many wise women and men with as many people as I can, so that we can normalize spirituality, raise consciousness, and evolve the world, right? Because I'm not everybody's answer. I'm a lot of people's answers, but I'm not everybody's. So I want everyone to find their answers. So I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to feature one teacher every week. That teacher is going to give them an experience. And then the teacher is going to be available on a social media platform and be able to provide feedback on how that experience went for each individual, so that it becomes a collaboration, a co-creation, divine feminine, hello, um, of growth and evolution and self-realization, so that you're not just have a talking head spewing out information at you. And listen, I don't want to, there is a place for that. And with every inflection of every voice, there are energetic codes that come through. So there is a place. However, that's not my jam. That's not what I envision for what I want to create. So I went to probably half a dozen to a dozen men and women who I respect and honor, and said, hey, what do you think about unsummiting a summit? And here's my plan. Does that appeal to you? Does this, can this get legs? And every single person said 100%, we love this idea. How do we participate? How can we join you in this adventure, right? It was so deeply embraced, and it was so deeply needed, that I'm hoping that other people copy this, that other people
I couldn't agree with you more. And I just, for our listeners and our viewers, what makes this so unique and what Teresa is doing that most summits don't do is there is one presenter, one facilitator, one day a week for many weeks in a row. And we start on September 18th.
Yep.
And we go to, is it November 12th?
November 20th, and then I will do a 90-minute live channeling event on December 11th for a culmination.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So this is taking place at 9 a.m. Pacific time for 90 minutes on Thursdays, once a week, from September 18th until December 11th. So mark your calendars right now, everyone. And of course, we're going to drop the link and we're going to share with you about the Global Evolutionary Summit. But what you have designed here is really brilliant. And I am totally guilty of pretty recently, signing up for a summit and not attending. And I didn't attend because I was so overwhelmed with this email and that email and this speaker and that speaker. And it's like, my head is exploding. I can't do it. And particularly and I would love to hear your feedback on this, particularly as consciousness rises, the vibration on the planet rises, I can't move at the same pace that I used to and sort of get along in the world. Like it doesn't work in this vessel. Like I gotta land and ground and be here with you and only you. And so these olden days of multitasking and all of that shenanigans, which never really worked, but some people are still getting high off of that. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I think there is a natural inner slowdown that truly is available as we uplift our awareness.
Agree 100%. And I'm gonna in a conversation with my circle this morning, we talked about the rays of consciousness on the planet, specifically in the last 4 weeks. Gaia went through a tremendous, unparalleled leap in consciousness. And for all of you who have been cycling the drain with all the crap that we needed to clear to be in alignment with her. Me too. You're now you're going to start feeling the result of all of that shifting out of your energy, and that will be opportunities to fill the voids of that which you have released. And there is great opportunity to step into deep intentions to manifest that which you design and desire for your life. Now is the time for you to harness the deep evolutionary step that Gaia has made. And we encourage each and every one listening now and into the future to reflect upon your what, why of your life, not your job, your what, why of your life, and identify what step you wish to take next.
Thank you. And I just want to remark on the transmission that you're bringing through right now, and the energy and the love and the expansion. And I'm sure everyone who's here live and anyone who is going to watch the replay, if you go back and you watch the replay, just notice the quality of the energy and the change. I could literally feel the effervescence moving through me as Teresa is bringing through this beautiful message for all of us. So thank you for that yumminess. There'll be more of that on December 11th.
There will be.
You said something earlier that I wanted to come back around to. You said that you have abilities, not gifts. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to ask you to just share a little bit more with us about that.
I would love to, because I think it's one of the essential messages for normalizing spirituality. When I asked my guides why I was born with all of my intuitive abilities awakened, and went through this roller coaster relationship with them, they explained that part of my mission is to awaken these abilities in everybody else. And how they explain this to me is this: our body's senses have always been expanded beyond the physical. They've always had the energetic elements in play. Many of us come in, and I think it was Kim that mentioned it earlier in the chat, that she can remember being in the crib and playing with energy beings as well. But who are you going to tell? Right? So we just continue to diminish it. So by acknowledging that your abilities extend beyond the physical, empathy is aligned with feeling, right? Clairaudience with ears, clairvoyance with eyes. I mean, on and on, right? When you acknowledge, simply by telling yourself, yes, I have those abilities, all of a sudden you've opened a door. You've opened a door to invite your guides, your soul, and the universe to begin to communicate with you that way. You've said, yes, I will receive information this way. And the moment that you start taking action on it, it accelerates. You receive, every single one of us receive hundreds of messages a day. Hundreds. And how many do we pay attention to? 3? Not many. So in order to normalize spirituality, we need to acknowledge that we have intuitive abilities that go beyond what we have allowed ourselves to utilize. And the moment that we do that, we move into a co-creation with the universe, manifesting everything that we, our soul, has designed for our life. So, and listen, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. Ask for a parking spot by the front door at Costco or the grocery store. Make it simple. The more simple and the more playful you make it, the greater it will grow, the more quickly it will evolve. And you will develop a unique communication with your guides, with the universe, and with your soul. But it's yours. Nobody else does it the way you do. It's yours. You are, oh God, the one compelling message that the universe has always held in the background of everything I've done is you are so incredibly powerful and special. You have no idea how amazing you are. And when you give yourself permission to self-realize, whether it's through intuitive abilities or your purpose, or giving yourself what you really want and desire, those energetic codes and frequencies ripple into the universe. And by your giving yourself that permission, you've awakened in somebody somewhere that same permission. Who doesn't want to do
I
that?
feel the tenderness. I feel the tenderness of this, right? And what you're sharing resonates with me so deeply. And I just think back on my journey and going from corporate land, where we are really constrained with a framework that has rules that aren't even real, but we perceive these rules in such a way that permission isn't even a consideration. And I know for myself, once I had the awareness that I could give myself permission, things began to rapidly change. Yeah. Yeah. And so I like to think of myself as a permission slip. You know, for a lot of the women that I work with, permission to be gentle, permission to feel our feelings, permission to use our abilities, to recognize that we even have them. Teresa, how can we, this is going to be an off-base question, but it's needling me. How can we reshape thinking around the difference between spirituality and religion, and help people open their minds more to spirituality if they could understand that it has nothing to do with religion?
First and foremost, you are your authority. You are your best source for information. If somebody tells you what to think, question it. At the very least, run it through the filters of your heart or your solar plexus, because we can use both as truth filters, and acknowledge that truth is yours. And that's essential. One of the things that I teach my students is our ultimate goal is to move into sovereignty, autonomy, and authority over our life. Personally, if you want to go to church, spread love. But filter every single thing that you are told to believe through your truth filters. And understand clearly what is your truth. And honor that. Not only embody your own truth, but actually take action on it. Here's the other thing that I find many people are challenged with. It's not only religion, it's all the societal norms that we have been told. If you're religious, you're a good person. If you put family first, you're a good person. If you are self-sacrificing, you're a very good person. Well, all three of those actually put you in a position where you're giving away your authority. You're allowing other people to tell you what is your truth. Look, there are some families that are not good, and it is for you to walk away. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means that you love yourself enough to honor yourself and that you are willing to step up and live your best life. Because there's only two mandates in this life. Number one, self-evolve. That means taking care of self first. And number two, not only moving so deeply into self-realization, but you share it. Whether that's overtly through word and deed or covertly in your energetic resonance. You don't have to take action, but you have to be that for self. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. And in the spirit of sovereignty, autonomy, and what was the third one?
Authority.
Authority. That's my life's work on my gene keys. I should remember that one. In the spirit of that, here on Spiritual Ambition, we've had a continual conversation about how doing our own inner work really is helping to evolve the collective.
Yeah.
And I know that that has been a very strong position that has been held by the Global Evolutionary Summit, and your reasoning for being able to bring that forward and offer it. I'm just looking at the time, and can you share with us a little bit about the summit and who will be there and what can we expect and what are the benefits of showing up there and doing a little inner work for oneself?
Well, first of all, and I think this is an essential ingredient for self-evolution, you're in a community. You're not alone. And that is incredibly important. We are not meant to walk this alone. We are meant to do it in a community. The hard stuff by being vulnerable and open and transparent, and the really great stuff. Secondly, the Global Evolutionary Summit is all about bringing incredibly powerful individuals so that you can discern what wisdom they're sharing that you want to feel and embody yourself. We have priestesses like yourself. We have individuals who bring wisdom from India in the form of Vastu Shastra. We have individuals like Nancy, who's going to open for us, who has been doing sound healing for 30 plus, maybe even close to 40 years. We have individuals who will teach you how to harness the tools of writing and journaling. We have healers. We have an individual who will share her light language. So you'll receive live transmissions. We have an individual who will help activate your 5D light body. We have a plethora of different individuals who the universe brought to me, like you and I, Donna, connecting and saying, "Oh no, we got to play again. We got to do this together." And give you experiences so you can feel it. I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I want to feel what you're sharing with me, and then you have a week to play with what you've learned and embody what works for you and be supported in a community that see, hear, and hold you as you evolve. Does that answer the question? There's so much to share.
Oh, yes, it answers the question. And Kelly, thank you so much for showing the beautiful sight. You know, I'm a kinesthetic empath. And as I was sitting with, and I actually have the site up sort of behind our screen to just hold the energy. As I was just experiencing the site, I could quite literally feel just the waves of loving that were coming off of the site. So I just want to acknowledge you. And, you know, I don't think anybody realizes the number of moving parts that are happening behind the scenes in order to, you know, bring forward and deliver. And we send light out to Becca and thank her for all of her efforts in coordinating everything. Yeah, it's really beautiful. What is your highest intention for the summit?
That every single person that attends walks away better than when they came, that they receive exactly what they need to highlight their next step in their own evolution, and that their heart opens so that they can have this ripple effect that will be felt all around the planet.
Yeah, beautiful. What else do you want us to know, Teresa? Let me see here.
I think the other thing that I would like to share, and thank you for the opportunity, is literally last week, my book went live.
Yes, congratulations.
Yay.
Amazing. Congratulations. It's a feat.
It is indeed. Yes. It is called Manual for Humanity. It's up on Amazon, and it is a complete toolkit to help you step into purpose-driven living. It is everything I teach, everything I've learned, and by the end of this month, the accompanying workbook will also be available so that you have specific practices and journal prompts and tools, but the manual is everything. It is so exciting that I get to share that with the world now. Oh, I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Share a little bit about your book journey. Were your guides also saying you're going to write a book?
Uh-huh. They sat me down in December, the beginning. December apparently is the month for me to get, okay, let's go. We got something to do. They sat me down in the beginning of December and said, okay, now is the time to write the book. And literally by the end of January, I had it written.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's all channeled. So not only are you getting a book, you're also getting transmissions in every single word on every single page.
Yes.
And then I finished and I'm like, okay, what's next? I've never written a book, right? And they said, put it away. And I went, what? What? Okay. And so then
we'll have a new project for you before you know it. Yeah.
Don't worry, we have other things. So then in 2024, they came back and said, time to pull it out. And I understand why. Because in those 2 years, I cleared and learned so much that the book was cathartic, writing it the first time. The second time, it became this even, yeah, thank you very much. Yes, this more globally applied tool that anybody can pick up and read. It's very grounded and very accessible. And whether you're in the beginning of your journey or you're well through your journey, every single tool that I share will elevate that aspect to a new level. And yeah, Kim, the workbook is fascinating, and I promise I'm getting that out as quickly as possible because it's filled with practical tools, yeah, and how to apply them.
I know, you've hinted to this as you have been sharing with us today, that you channel energy codes and you work with these quantum frequencies. Can you help us understand how one person doing their deeper work and mingling with these codes can actually create these positive ripple effects that are being sent out across the planet?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think anybody's worded that as well as you just did. So thank you. Um, what my guides have explained to me is that when I speak, my voice carries energy codes and transmissions, and they're all designed specifically for the audience who is attending and will watch at a later date. So they've come, and I've got a really big team, as Donna found out this afternoon. They come around and they read into the energy of everybody who is participating, and they design these little energy packets for each individual to receive. Now, those energy packets are things that will catalyze immediately. And there are also a lot of little packets that'll come in and sit in your system until you're ready to activate them. So it's this time released activation. And what I understand, thank you, is that I'm part of several committees, which is why I channel different energy groups, energy collectives. Um, and this is part of one of the committee's agreements that I took on when I came into this life, that I would be a catalyst energetically. And every one of us has this ability. This is part of my soul's contract. And that's something else I do, is I help people with their soul contracts, as you know, Donna. But everybody does this. Even when you're walking around the grocery store, if you pass somebody by and you're radiating love and happiness, they're going to get that. They're going to receive that. So with me, it's just a little bit deeper and a little more complex because of the teams that I have assisting me. Yeah.
Well, I love the example that you just used, when you're standing next to somebody in the supermarket and when you're emanating love, they receive that. Like, this is the reason to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
My professors from the University of Santa Monica, Drs. Ron and Mary Holnick, they used to say, when one person heals one issue, all of humanity moves forward. And, you know, the state of the world today and the amount of grief and strife and struggle that so many people are in, the more people on the planet who are aware of their own power to influence the cosmic soup with love and upliftment and joy. And, you know, we are walking around as, what's the word I want? Transmission, right? And we are literally radiating the material that we're holding in our consciousness. And this is another incentive. Do the work, clear the blocks, heal the wounds, be the love.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I should write that down.
Yeah.
Because when we remove what is standing in the way of our true nature, then that natural essence just emanates. It just comes forward. There's nothing that we need to do. We don't have to attend the class. We don't have to do the thing. We don't have to take some long journey. We can just be the truth of who we are and remember that we each hold that, and that is available, right, for each one of us.
Yes.
So one of the last things that we do on Spiritual Ambition is something called the celebration of love's alchemy. And it's this idea that love is a magic elixir that will transmute anything. And so oftentimes we bring that love to things that seem a little contrary or out of the ordinary. But today it was very clear what we are to give our love to. And we are to give our love today to our guides. And, you know, in the spirit, I could just feel like I feel the big hug just as I say it. Because, you know, they appreciate their some recognition and some
Right.
love and some gratitude. And I mean, good Lord, where would I be without them? Where would you be without them? You know, we forget that they're always there. They're always there, even when we forget, when we're not looking, when we don't pay attention, they still have our back. And they are up ahead, and they are to our right and to our left and everywhere present. So today we are sending some love to our guides.
That's perfect.
Teresa Warnstaff, thank you so much for being here today. It has truly been my pleasure to be in your space, to know you, and to hear about this beautiful movement that you have created, the Global Evolutionary Summit, which kicks off on September 18th at 9 a.m. Pacific time once a week. We have dropped the link in the chat and put the URL address across the screen. So I certainly hope that people will register and also go out and get your book, A Manual for Humanity. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to close our space, everyone, like we open it, we're going to go ahead and close it. So we just close our eyes for a moment. Again, just sending our love and appreciation to the invisible world, to all of those beautiful energies, masters, teachers, guides, angels, all of the light beings that support each one of us individually and collectively, keeping in mind each of our unique purposes. We are grateful for the opportunity to come together. We are now closing all energetic lines of communication between any of us, closing all open portals, gateways, channels, agreements, and lines of communication between any of us and the spirit world. I'm Donna Bond. This is Spiritual Ambition. We are closing the show with love, in love, for love, by love, as love. Thank you for being here. Much love.